Master Chappie back, guys, for part 12 in our sim game series. Today we'll be featuring the Miami Dolphins and we'll be playing against the Carolina Panthers. Um, our opponent today will be a subscriber, NYGman90, so this should turn out to be a good game. Um, Against the Panthers, you know they have a really good running attack. Steve Smith is a very elite wide receiver. He's just been under the radar for a while just because he lacked a quarterback for quite a few years. But now that he's got Cam Newton, you can pretty much see he's been a really good receiver for quite some time. Um, and there again, guys, he's in a 3-4 or 1-5-5 or whatever, but there's no one out there on my slot receiver, so I'll just hit him in the flats for a quick pickup. So that take advantage of that again. Um, with the Dolphins, we got Brandon Marshall, who we're gonna try to target heavily. We have Chad Henne, he's okay, but he will make a bad pass here and there. So you know you don't want to try to make super spectacular passes with him. Just try to keep it within his range. Simple passes, basic. Um, and Reggie Bush, the speedster, if he can get out in the open field, you know, he can do some pretty amazing things. He's also a great receiver, so definitely use him in all aspects of the game. So defensively, they have a solid cornerback group. Just have a really solid defense. Cameron Wake is a beast. I mean, he can make pretty much any play that any linebacker can make. He's elite. So playing against them, against these Panthers, you know, we got to stop Newton. So it's going to be our main goal. And their field goal was just a little short. So we got the ball. Try to get us a nice little lead before halftime. And, you know, that's our game plan right now. We're just hitting them to the outside with Reggie Bush. Um, just want to break down this game. That play is wide trail. That's a good play that you'll see a lot. Also, this bench right here, you're going to see that a lot. Nice user catch by Hartline there. But what am I doing when I'm reacting to my opponents? That play there, I see my opponent, his job was to cover the flat area. And most of the time when someone uses, they guard it initially. They guard what they're supposed to, but then they'll leave it open. So basically I just waited for him to move, and you know, we got a nice pickup with Bush, and then there, that's just a nice route by Fasano to pick up the touchdown. But the trend you've probably seen on my last few videos is I've been blitzing like a lot, like bringing a lot of guys in, trying to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Trying to just figure out which blitzes are effective, which way to blitz, where to bring the heat from, how many guys do I need to bring. You know, you got to experiment with these things so you know what you're doing, what works, how you want to do it, when you want to bring it. You know, you gotta experiment. You can't just go into practice mode and run a play, you know, 20 times and be like, oh yeah, this play's the stuff. You go online, you run it a couple times, and you're just getting busted thinking that it was gonna work because you haven't used it against another user yet, or you know, you haven't had real live game experience with it. So you know, you don't even know when you want to run the play. You have to lab it in game as well as in practice mode. Practice mode is a good place to start to see what you want to do, but then you have to do it in game. You have to implement it into your scheme because you can't just pick a play and be like, all right, this is the play I'm working on. I'm going to run this play all game. You have to have an idea of when you want to do it, when you want to catch your opponent off guard. And here we're just going to put in Jason Taylor, Hall of Famer. He's older now, but still a solid player. But yeah, guys, your schemes, you have to, when you find a new play, you have to figure out how you want to implement it, and that's critical because that's going to make a huge difference on how effective that play is going to be for you. And there, Reggie Bush was just covered by a linebacker, so we took advantage of that and sent him deep, and he made the catch. So we're happy about that. Um, What else do we want to talk about, guys? Been getting asked couple route combinations I like against zone. As you've seen on the video, like a curl, streak out, a slant, streak out. I like to streak one guy at least to get rid of that corner if it's a cover three, or against the cover three, you're gonna want to hit that outside above the blue zone. So the deep out is just like perfect. Um, and that's how I like to attack that. Against the cover two, you can hit the seams, or again, even the deep out will still work against it. So, you know, the deep out is probably one of my favorites routes against the zone, and also the curl. And here, Henny just makes a bad pass, just lead it to the outside, and Brendan Marshall would have had a nice catch. But yeah, I mean, you have to really just figure out how you want to attack the zone. Personally, that's what I like to do. So, and that right there is a nice run play that he actually just did. I've seen that be effective for people. It's like, they do the fake pump fake. It's like a nice delay draw or something like that. So, really good play. He's mixing up his offense pretty well right now. He's run heavy mostly, but the way he runs is it's effective. So, strong close, strong formation, real heavy run set, nice user catch there. So, it's a good running formation, and also he's done decently in the passing out of it. So that's effective. You want to find a formation that you can be successful running and passing out of, so your opponent can't just key in on one thing. And that's how you really keep your opponent honest. And if you can do that, you can have a very successful day. As long as you can run decently out of it and pass very well, or, vice versa, or do both very well, and that would probably be your best option. So definitely look for formations where you can do that when you're thinking about your game plan. Because if you just have a formation where your pass is just so unstoppable and you can't really run out of the formation, well, once they key in on that pass out of that formation, then, you might think it's unstoppable, but they start running a couple defenses that match up very well with what you're trying to do, whether that be a heavy blitz that, your routes don't get open, or, they run a max coverage defense, rushing only one or two guys. Either way, I mean, there's ways to stop most pass plays. There's a defense for every offense, so you just have to find it. You just have to experiment, and your opponent will catch you off guard and show you something you've never seen before. And if you can't run or do both pass and run, then you'll be in trouble. So just when you're building your schemes, what you want to do on offense, make sure you build your strong formations that you want to use heavily. Make sure you can do both run and pass out of them is basically the message for this episode of the series. And here we're just trying to slow them down. There's roughly a minute left. We're up 11, so that's 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns regardless. And Vernon Davis is going to pretty much... Why did I say Vernon Davis? Oh my goodness. I'm messing up, guys. Sorry about that. Vontae Davis. So, good game, NYG, man. Be sure to stay tuned for more episodes, more tips. And be sure to check out the Dolphins. They got a really good team. And peace, guys.